And speaking of all in, folks, we're all in for the celebration. Here's a work of entertainment that Hoshi wants to talk about. Today's celebration appreciation is... Dumb! IDOLiSH7! Woo!
Yay!
All right, run us through this one, Hoshi. Why do you love it? How'd you get first discovered? Let's start with that. How you first discovered it, and then why it hooked you, and explain to us why this is awesome.
Okay, well, let me. How do this? Let's see. If we're going back to the very beginning, so okay, this is a series called IDOLiSH7. Let me give you some context to what it is. So it is. Well, first and foremost, it is a game. It's also an anime now. That is about, as you could probably guess, it's about idols, but they're male idols, and there may or may not be 7 of them in the main group. But anyway, now, oh man, I got into it back in, oh boy, I think it was January 2019. I remember this specifically because I happened to join, like, essentially get the game. It's on phone. It's like a mobile game,
okay,
like on Android and iOS. So it's super easy to play. But basically, what happened was that I've always liked idols. Like, you know, like I was into K-pop for a while. I was into like Japanese idols, and then like anime, and then I basically. So you know how I read, Natsume's Book of Friends, right?
Yes.
That series is published in this manga book, kind of like, you know how there's Shonen Jump for like shonen manga. There's like a one for like shoujo anime too, and there was an ad for IDOLiSH7, and the art was drawn by Arina Tanamura. I'm not sure how familiar you guys would with her, but she draws a lot of like shoujo manga stuff. She's super famous for her like art style. Cause she wrote Full Moon wo Saga Shite, which is like a really old school like classic like shoujo shoujo manga. You can guess it's about an idol. It's about a little girl who wants to be an idol, and she's sick and stuff. Anyway, that's a whole different series. But she's a very distinct
creator
art style.
Oh,
yeah,
very distinct art style. Okay, nice.
Yes. She has a very distinct art style. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And like, oh, like this like idol boy is really pretty. So like, let's check it out. And that was the beginning of long down the rabbit hole.
That was the start.
So that was the start. So I downloaded the game. At this point in time, I believe that there were not a lot of English translations because it's still fairly new. It came out in 2018, like in August.
Oh wow! So just a year before you got into it.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, just like a handful of months before even. So it was Ooh, sorry, my webcam is doing its own thing here. Okay, there we go. There.
Nice.
Everything.
Oh, I want to acknowledge one thing from chat. Tusk said something really sweet. I don't appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you, Tusk.
Oh no, we love you.
Uno reverse. No, you.
Right. Yeah, always.
And Raph just says IDOLiSH7, and Raph is talking about so much knowledge you have, Hoshi. All right, continue. So it came out in 2018, and that's where you started.
And then I started in January 2019, and I remember because there was a certain event that was happening. Oh man, I wish actually I could slideshow you some of these images because they're kind of hilarious. But there was an event for one of the groups in this series, not IDOLiSH7, but one of their rival, I guess, quote unquote rival group called Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the character you could get basically you collect cards in this game, so you can like play the rhythm game. You get cards of boys and all that stuff.
Sure.
So kind of like Love Live in that sense. If you guys are familiar with Love Live at all, like as a rhythm game.
I am. I'm familiar with it.
Sorry?
I'm familiar with Love Live. Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So very like similar kind of game setup and play style and things like that. And so that character that had that really pretty art of was one of the characters you could get in that event. So I I was like, okay, this is my time. The event was still ongoing. I was like, okay, it ends in like a couple days, so I really need to grind if I want to get this card. I stayed up. Oh god, it was like a blur. It was an absolute blur. I think I was still an undergrad at that time, so I could do this where.
Oh, real quick, Uwoos, thank you for the follow, Uwoos. Thank you.
Hello. Woo!
Uwoos.
Let's go.
All right, you were an undergrad at the time. You're like, this is my time. Let's go. Go on.
So I just like grinded that game for a handful of days until the event ended, and I got the card. I was like, it was like my proudest shining moment ever, because I was like, it was a ranking one, so I was like, wait, like a new player like me could like get this card of this pretty boy that I saw in this manga thing, and I was like,
for real?
But we did, yeah.
Whoa! Okay, now that's a pog for there. Hello, Uwu. Welcome to that pog. Right.
Like, woo! Yeah, we were pogging. Anyway, so that was the beginnings of my descent into hell. But anyway, so that's how I got into it. That was the beginning. It was a very like crazy beginning. I will say that. It was like 1 minute I was just a regular old Benui girl who liked anime, and then the next I was like I don't know what happened, but I have this boy, and I'm really obsessed with this game right now.
is the boy present here in this image I got here, or?
Wait. Let me actually see, because I closed up the
Oh, that's right. You have to close it up. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
But well, let me see if I can reopen it without too much lag.
Also, welcome, Hound. Nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the G Variety Show. We are right now talking about IDOLiSH7, Hoshi's love of this wonderful game, anime series. It's got the whole mix.
Hell yeah. Oh, wait, okay, I'm just opening up your stream right now. And so, okay, so he's actually not in this picture.
Aw,
if you
dang.
Want, I can send you a photo.
Sure. Do you want me to share it here on stream? Or...
Yeah, sure. Let me find you a. It's only slightly sussy. Everyone's fully clothed. It's just.
Well, it wouldn't be any fun. It wouldn't be fun if they were completely clothed. I mean, come on.
Right? Well, see, the thing is, the game is like, okay, ages 3 and up. I'm like, cool. Yeah, that totally makes sense. You know what? It's ages 3 and up. But then I saw
undergrad. It's the new 3 and up.
You're right. Well, then I saw the image and I was like, I don't know, guys. This is a little bit
sussy.
Yeah, bit fussy. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a nice big picture for you. Open a new tab. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this into Discord for you, and
yeah, just do that. Don't worry, I can take it right from Discord, and then you can close it again, and that way your internet's all working good again. Ah, delightful. Ah, so this is for 3 and up. I see.
Yes, ages 3 and up. They were like, yes, this is definitely the content for you. Anyway,
there it is,
the
folks.
I saw is the character in the middle. His name is Ten. And anyway, yeah. So they're one of the main rival groups, and I was just like, this is yeah, ages 3 and up. Legit. I believe it. I 100% believe it. I was like, yeah, that's some chain action they've got going on there.
Yep. Oh, hold on. The image just disappeared real quickly. Hold on, I gotta get it.
Ooh. Your Twitch was like, I cannot have this.
There you go. Now I got it. Here we go. So here you go. So there you go, folks. There it is. There you go. There's the image.
It's a little sussy, but it's just a couple bros hugging each other while while one of them is chained up. It's all good.
Hound is wondering if it's BL. I don't think it's boy love. So
it's actually not. It's actually it's very interesting because that's what I was expecting too. Now, one of my things about it was going in. I was like, okay, my expectation was like Udapri. This is another adult anime, but it's very like. Okay, no, there's a couple different ways I can put this. Okay, there's a couple different expectations you might have going. You're like, okay, either they are all like, the balls are touching, or all the guys are in love with the main character, right? And usually that's like what people expect with like kind of like a quote unquote idol anime.
Mm-hmm.
But then it ended up being neither, which is kind of interesting. So, they have these things in games to get the character, like to get to know the characters better, called they're called rabbit chats, and it's basically just like sort of like a DM, and basically, so what happens in those is like when you get the cards, you can level them up, and you get these like little conversations, and it's like you text them and all that. And so at first it started out like I find the early cards are very much like, oh, like you're the manager and you're talking to these boys, and it's like, oh, like, you know, we're gonna date them and stuff. And that's kind of I think that's the initial like way that they started off the series. But then they actually moved away from that and kind of went to more like it focused more on like the relationships with everybody, versus just like, you know, you dating them or them dating each other. It sort of ended ash of like of that, which was kind of cool. So
nice.
It's not a BL, yeah, but it does have some, you can ship it though. I gotta tell you, I do ship some of them, so I'm saying it is all up to fully interpretation, you know?
Yeah.
That's the fun in that. That's the fun with that.
So that was the card up there. That picture right there was the one that got you hooked, and then it was onward with this game.
Well, this is actually just a manga cover from recent days, but the card, I think the card is also kind of, let me see if I can actually find it, because I actually don't quite remember which card.
Hound is thinking, oh, so this is like a reverse Harem. Well, like Hoshi said, it wasn't really like that. It was just kind of cool character development stuff.
Yeah, like, so it kind of like, at first I was like, maybe it is, but then they kind of went away from that, which I found really interesting. I was like, oh, that's different, right?
Gotta appreciate the differences, even the little subtle ones.
Yeah, and I was very surprised. I like wasn't expecting that too. I was just like, oh, you know, like if it's an idol series, that's usually the expectation for, like, you know, from maybe perhaps idol animes that you've seen before.
Right. I've seen Love Live. I don't remember it happening in that one though.
Yes, and yeah, Love Live is definitely more. I think it was more about friendship.
Yeah.
It was,
sisterhood, kind of bonding like that, and just being an idol group together for as long as it lasts, kind of thing.
Yeah. Now I think it was this. Oh, it was this.
Did you hear that? Oh.
No. It's a little. Okay, it's a little. Yeah, a bit. There's a little more skin showing here, but I will.
Bring it on. This is my show. Don't worry about it. Remember, I'm getting canceled first before my guest.
If it helps you anything, there's no butt cracks or anything, if that makes you any more reassured.
I'm fine, Hoshi. Trust me. Plenty of yabai things have happened on this show. Don't worry about it. I can take it.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not bad at all. That's nice. That's cute.
Anyway, I was just like, yes. Give that shit to me. Come home to mommy. Anyway, so
here you go, folks. Here's the yes picture right here. Boom.
Anyway, it also probably doesn't help that his main color is pink, so I was immediately like, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Pink boy. Yes.
Pink exactly. Sold.
Right. That is one easy way to get me. Like, if you need to sell me anything, if it comes in pink, I'm like, okay, yes. Yes, the answer is always yes.
Indeed, Raph. Wow, that's a picture monk-ass.
Monk.
All right, I'm gonna put this. Yeah. Hoshi, I'm gonna place this picture right above your little head. So there you go.
Nice. There you go. That's the one brainworm that I needed to get me into the series.
Continue on. What else about this thing? Like, just you love about it? Give us some more.
Oh, yes. Don't worry, I'm just getting started.
Excellent. We got time. Go ahead.
I can give you a lot of information. So, let me go through some highlights, I guess.
Yes, please.
Of what I loved about it. So, what was really interesting is that the game is fully voiced.
Whoa.
So, essentially, what that means is, you know how sometimes in mobile games you get kind of I guess when the text comes up, it doesn't necessarily voice it. You just kind of read it. And
yeah, sure. That's familiar. Yeah, the text pops up. No voice acting. They don't always voice act. So there's full voice acting in this game.
Yeah, and I know there's some idol games. A lot of them do the thing where they they say a grunt or a little line, but they don't say the actual what you're reading.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's further voiced beyond that, where they actually just say the lines and stuff, which is super cool. I was like, oh my god, like this is kind of premium.
It's
Like, I
Pog.
feel like I was getting, yeah, it was very poggers, and so I was like, okay, this is the premium experience, nice. Um, and like and it kind of goes back to like how like that it didn't end up being a reverse harem. It kind of was like it was kind of fun actually because the manager girl that you are in the game, she kind of sets that boundary pretty fast where she's like, no way, I would never actually date any of my idol people or another agency's idol either. And which was like, oh, like this is like a hot take. This never happens, right? Like usually it's like, oh my god, oh. But she was very good about that. She's like super duper, like she's just this girl trying to like, get her professional career going, and like she works at a company called Takanashi Productions, which is her dad's company. So she starts there, and so she's like, yeah, like I want to do this all right. Like I want to like be a professional and not just like basically I have this job because it's my dad's company, right? So,
Yeah. It's not about nepotism here. I'm a professional. I can do this.
Right. And I was very touched by that because usually I don't end up liking like protagonists of a lot of like kind of like idol themed games or things like that, or like games that are I guess like what you call cater towards women. That's like the quote unquote the way they phrase like what they call like a josei muke game, which is what this would be technically because it's like idol men series, which is geared towards women, right?
Sure.
Quote unquote. I hate that they describe it that way, but it's like, which is why I use the quotes. But yeah, basically, like the series kind of they do a lot of really fun like marketing things with it. Like there's a guy who works at the office in IDOL7 who manages quote unquote the Twitter, so his face is on the Twitter icon. He's like managing it, and they do like some fun like in person like IRL campaigns where they sort of do like they've done things where basically they've like been like, oh, like they do art of the characters like going to this ramen place or something, or this so and so place, and it'll sort of be like a marketing thing for both of the places, like both the place and
the so you mean like there's like a ramen shop that actually exists and they put it in the game and they have their game characters interact with it, kind of like that?
Actually, it's kind of the other way around, where it's a real place that exists, and so like the place will actually like for example, there's one place that they put up like the signatures in like a frame at the actual restaurant, and it's like, oh, and like it's like the characters went to that restaurant almost. Like it's kind of like yeah,
that's
it's
neat.
really like, whoa, right? I thought it was so neat. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And like obviously it's not like it's not like Love Live has done similar things in the past too, but I thought it was really cool that like I've just never seen like a lot of like male idol series do that before, so that was kind of my first like wow, it's so cool.
It is cool. The first time with anything in any medium, it's like, hey, I didn't know they did that. Neat.
Right? Yeah, it's super cool, and the game itself has a lot of like they actually have a really good like continuity, so the storytelling is nice in that sense. Like
so they maintain the canon pretty well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
nice.
there's not a lot of like, oh, like why is it like this? The only one thing about the game is that so there's only one game continuity thing that I will say is a little weird. Is it's the so the characters there's two characters in IDOLiSH7 who are 17, so they're in high school and they never leave high school. They celebrate their birthdays. They do the whole shebang, their anniversary, all the things. They just never leave high school. They're just perpetually in high school, which for one continuity thing, I was like, you know what, I'm okay with that. Kind of funny. It became a meme. Just like, yeah.
We'll let this one slide. It's kind of funny. It's the fantasy part. Being an idol keeps you young forever.
Yes, right. Imagine the idol like keeps you young. And it's just super funny because it's like, oh yeah, this character is like known for being this like super like high school student who's like very perfectionist, and I'm like, oh man, you guys are here forever, but that's okay. We're okay with that. It's just two of you guys anyway.
Yeah. If it was all 7, there's something else behind the scenes happening here. This is like an isekai or a fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a little weird, but then we were like, yeah, it's just two of y'all. You keep going to school, dude. Stay in school, kids. I think maybe that's the point we're gonna
do your thing. Do your thing in school. Alright, so we got the cool IRL stuff. We got the 2 eternal high schoolians. What else you got for us, Hoshi? Come on, this is awesome. I love hearing you talk about this. You clearly love it, so this is great.
Oh yeah. I don't worry. I'm just getting started. I'm like, I've got some like little notes, like little things. And
oh, delightful. You got notes? Oh, that I think.
On, like, yeah.
I think you're the first one to have notes about this. I love it. Go on.
I may or may not be as well, so I'll tell you now. So to get to like the story bit, so I know it has a story, which is crazy.
It does. It's got gameplay. It's got a story. It's got high school students. Go on. I'm sorry, my friend. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're all good. And I think so what it usually is, I find like typical like idol series are usually very much like, okay, these idols are trying to become famous, and like all this big bad group is gonna get in their way, and oh no, and that's the conflict, and that's the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of ongoing. So they start off the series with like basically in Japan there's this really hardcore idol guy who made idols popular in Japan. And he was like doing the idol thing for a couple years, and then completely like something happened, and he completely just like left the entertainment industry, and just like nobody knows what happened to him.
Oh.
And the story starts 10 years after this, so idols are still big now, but that's kind of 10 years after that, that's when you kind of like get to the story, and IDOLiSH7 is becoming IDOLiSH7 as a group. So that's kind of ramping up from that. And the rival group that I mentioned, Trigger, they're the one that has the sussy photo that I sent you with the chain.
That's Trigger. That's Trigger. That's right.
Yes. They debuted, I believe, like 3 years before IDOLiSH7. So
okay.
So
they're the senpai.
Yes, exactly. They're senpai. 3 years before the game starts, that's when they debuted, and we're like, yeah, idols and stuff. And so yeah, it kind of starts off like you're like, oh man, this is gonna be stereotypical, like, oh, they're gonna hate each other and stuff. But it's kind of cool because they start off kind of like that, where it's like, oh man, like, look at this other group, there's tension, all this stuff. But then they actually become senpai, which is awesome. They start off a little rocky at the beginning because their management, their CEOs kind of have a little bit of a feud going on.
Oh.
Their own personal feud, though, not an industry feud.
Oh, I see.
More of a personal feud. And I don't know if I want to spoil that or not necessarily. It's not a huge spoiler, but basically that's kind of how that starts, and then eventually, well, one of the guys in the group. Actually, do you still have that photo up, by the way? The chains.
Oh yeah, the chains are floating right above my head.
Okay, good. The guy on the left, the silver-haired guy there.
All the way to the left, not the one in the middle. The one left.
Yes. He, his name is Gaku, and he's the leader of this group.
Okay.
Basically, he's actually the son of the CEO of the company that he's in, called Yaotomi Productions, which makes it easy because it's just like last name. Okay, yeah, easy. And he basically is actually the first one to be like, actually, I kind of want to cheer these guys on, like these IDOLiSH7 people. Like my dad might not like them, but I kind of think that they're poggers. They're kind of poggers. And so he's kind of the first to like secretly root them on, like cheer them on, and like which is kind of cool. I was like, yeah, they're gonna be bros. Like we're gonna do this thing. And I probably could drop this as a slight spoiler because you find out very early in the game.
Sure, go on.
The red boy in the big group picture of IDOLiSH7 is twin brothers of the guy in the middle who's all chained up.
they're twins. There you go.
They're twins, but they're not on they weren't on speaking terms at the beginning of the series. They were not like
Cool.
they don't live together as a family. They were not speaking together.
I can see they both like being in the middle of the group. That they got that in common.
Yup. One might enjoy than the other, but
Anyway, okay, so they're twins. All right, cool.
yeah, so they're fraternal twins. So they look different, but they basically just have the same hairstyle but reversed, which kind of I thought was hilarious.
Oh.
I was like, oh no way, they can't be twins. Not with that opposite hair. No way.
Nah.
No way. And so yeah, so it kind of starts off with some tension points, and I think they do a really good job of fleshing out some of like the background, the angsty, like the angsty moments, but like I think they do a really good job of just like doing, I guess, making it sort of like you're not even really seeing it like the sparkly idol side all the time. You're kind of seeing like, okay, this is kind of what happened behind the scene, like where they're auditioning or they're like trying to figure out some stuff between members, because I gotta tell you, every like boy band or every like Japanese idol group or any group that has ever existed, I will tell you there's never not conflict, like 100%. Like it might not be seen to like public eye, right? Of course, but as someone who interacts with humans very often, I can tell you like for a living, like not everyone gets along with each other, and that's okay. That's
yeah, it's
and
just
that's
the way it
something
is.
they kind of work out between them in the series, which is really cool. Like
Raph
not
is-
just with Idolton, but with the group.
Raph just said, "Wow, that's so human of you."
Wow, it's human. No way, right? It's kind of crazy, but it's like, wow, they're like the characters are actually kind of treated like more like people, rather than like, oh, there's this shiny man who's gonna sweep me off my feet.
Right.
They have those like little moments, of course, where it's like, wow, they're so shiny, cool.
Right, of
But,
course, because
like,
they can be shiny. So can real life people. But I get what you're saying. It interweaves the struggles they go through and the relationships, and into the story where it's not done in a it's done in a very what's the word? Not forced, so it's more natural. It's probably very natural, very real way is what you're trying to say.
yeah, exactly.
And it
It's a little bit
carries.
more like, yes, exactly. It's definitely more like, oh, like I can kind of relate to that, like that situation or something like that, or that feeling. So I thought it was a really cool like thing that they explore kind of those different like I guess like facets of like
Culture,
idol
idol
life.
background, idol life. Yeah, fast. That's a good word. I like that one. That's what. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because there's so many dimensions to it, and like as like stuff, we only see one side of it. And honestly, and I think it's a really cool thing that they played off of. You know what? Let's actually kind of make it more like beyond just like the usual like idols, everything's peachy and we're just trying to be famous. But there was like, oh, everyone has their reasons, why they want to like pursue this, and it's not necessarily always like superficial
Or
so
glamorous.
cool.
It's difficult. It's a pain. It's rough. You gotta keep to the grind kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, exactly. And there's even a character who like has auditioned like, numbers of times, and
Ooh.
he was like, used to that rejection, and like, it kind of like showed that like he really struggled with like that, and it's super cool. It's super cool. It's just like, yeah. And I think like definitely they did a really cool I guess like a really good job of just showing that part of people, and anyway, I think I've said that like 20 times.
Don't worry about it. It stands out. It's a highlight. The part that touches you. You say it multiple times. Who gives a crap? That's what you're doing here, talking about the good stuff.
Yeah, and you gotta always have your sad boy hour moments in anime. Like you gotta have some like heart wrenching stuff in there.
Yeah.
To keep you invested in the characters. But yeah, it's so funny, and that you can kind of see them become mates in like a dorm, and just some funny wild things that happen. Like, so you see it less in the anime, but in the game with the how I told you about the cards and how you can kind of like to the like quote unquote talk to them or text them or whatever. You kind of get to know them a lot better through those, and it's funny because they talk a lot about like their like living situation in those ones too where they're like, yeah, and then like Sogo, like for example, like he fluffs our sheets in the morning, and I'm like, so cute.
Oh, you gotta love those little idiosyncrasies. Those are fun to have. That's one of the good things about games, though. You know, they can throw in a lot more details and nuances that are fun.
Exactly, and they're definitely, like, I will admit there is definitely like a language barrier because it's not a game that's localized into English. But I will say that now, like, basically I think later 2019 it really took off and got really popular in Japan.
Nice.
Like, it got super popular, and which was awesome. Translated over to people being interested in the English fandom. So,
oh, good.
So there's tons of translations. Yeah, there's I think there's a Tumblr that's like totally dedicated to just translations of the cards, and like so you can actually read them and sit down and be like, oh, like this is so cool. And you can with events you can go along with the voiced lines and actually like go through it like with the translation, and it's super cool because it's like, oh, like it just adds like another like fun flavor to it or whatever.
Wow, you gotta love the people who love something and they put in all that hard work to make it accessible to those overseas and whatnot. That's awesome.
Right, yeah, it's super duper cool. And like I remember in the very early days, like when I was like in it, like in the beginning of January in like 2019, I remember I would actually post out some things and try to like try to figure out like, okay, what is this saying, so I can like make a post about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is what this says, and like, yeah. So not that I'm any whiz in Japanese, but like, it's sort of just like, guys, this thing exists, and here's like a good solid like like manga scan or whatever.
Here's your gateway scan.
Yeah, and once people started getting into it, I was like, okay, now I can ease off of it. People are posting about it now. I can
the word is out. Her job is done.
Yeah. So yeah, and then IDOLiSH7 eventually introduces 2 more groups, which is really cool.
Ooh.
They introduced like a veteran group who's done things longer even than Trigger. I think it was like 5 years before Trigger they were doing their thing. Super cool. And
so far though, we haven't heard back from the 10-year though guy. He's the oldest, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I still remember.
Yes, as far as the story goes, we don't know who he is yet. So,
that's.
But they've done some really good fun like hints at like what's happened in the past or could have maybe happened, and like some people that were involved with that kind of show up too. So they don't ever like let it die, which is really cool. So that's eventually something I think like an overarching thing that they'll get to. But they kind of explore like IDOLiSH7 story into it, and like with Trigger and this other group named Reveal, and then there's a new group that they've introduced kind of in the past year or so. That's like a even newer group than IDOLiSH7, and they kind of explore like the dimensions of their relationship behind that. So it's like it almost feels like it's kind of like an ongoing it's like ongoing tale. It's like definitely I guess in that sense I could say it's a slice of life in that sense. I think in that sense where it's like, oh, like this is something that's like things are actively changing and they're pursuing different things, or they're they're discovering different issues depending on like the dynamic of their groups, or
things change, life changes, and it's not like they're like not like in a time capsule. Like this is not where time freezes and then it's perfect like this. New things come in, new idol bands come in. Idolism is not a niche. It's a big industry. So expect more to come along.
Exactly, and the only thing that stays eternal is being in high school.
That's it. For two of them, they discover the fountain of youth.
Oh, the new group brings in another high schooler, so there's actually 3 now. I'm like, eternal high schooler club. Let's go.
Let's go. We gotta have the 3. We need 3. Good things happen in 3s. Stay in high school forever, buddy.
Yeah, you totally get me. So, it's so fun, and their merchandise too. So like when they sell like an album or something, like IDOLiSH7's first album, like it came with like how when you go to a concert, before you go to a concert you want to buy like the light sticks and like the towels and the the can badges.
Sure.
So their first album actually came with some stuff like that. Like it came with
cool.
light stick and like a cheering towel and all that. And I was like, what?
Did you get them?
They include. Oh, 100%.
Nice. Just making sure.
So like for, yeah, 100%. Yeah, you gotta double check, right? You're like, are you truly a real idol? Um, and yes, the answer is, oh, we are in too deep. Because um, every group's like first album, they basically released like a box set, kind of like that with different merch things in them. So it was kind of cool because so not all of them had like light sticks in them, but like some of them had like, oh, like like a themed like bracelet for the group, or like a like a really cool like storage box or something, like it was always different. Like they would include different stuff, um, and and uh, and basically it was kind of fun to see, being like, oh, I'm a big like nerd about like the idol marketing stuff, because I gotta tell you, there's so many cool like super duper well designed like light stakes, or like merchandise, or like like wristbands, or like music boxes. Like they do everything for like there's so much stuff that like idol groups have done, like whether it's like male Japanese idols or like female Japanese idols. They do a lot of really cool stuff.
So you mean like the stuff they sell, their products they're well made. They're not just kind of the throwaway stuff, the plastic crap that you get at the everyday carnival. They're actually well made.
Yeah, they include really cool stuff and have made some really cool merch on top of it.
Nice.
So I'm like props to y'all. Like the
Yeah.
people who created the series like really did their research for like, oh, this is actually how a Japanese idol would this is the kind of merch they would sell, or like this is kind of like thing that like promotional thing that they would have. So that was a fun like another point of like, oh, like realism, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I can actually probably share. A couple of different pictures with you, if you would like.
Yes. If it's okay, if you is this just for me, or are we gonna show this on stream? Because I don't care either way.
Oh yeah, we can show it on screen, or on stream. Sorry, I always say stream or screen. It's never one or the other. But this, like, you know how I was telling you about how there's real life, like they would have a, like signatures at a real life place. Right?
Yes.
This is kind of like an example, and then they'd have like an in-game thing where it would show them eating at like the restaurant. And I'm sending that over right now. Look, clicked off of it. Oh, there we go.
Here you are, folks. Very cool. More awesome pictures shared by Hoshi. Look, them giving their signatures actual.
And it's like the boys are there eating. It's like they're actually there.
And here we go. And hold on a second. Let me get that. Let me get that up there. The next one. The next one.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. They got that right there. And then we got one right here. See, look at that. Like they're actually eating in there. Check that out.
Right? It's so cool. I was like, yes. I love that. And like some people like fans like go out and like to these places which like, aren't necessarily in like in the main part of Tokyo or anything, but they're kind of just like, oh, like yeah, we'll go check out this place, and it like helps those places.
Helps the business, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I have to show you this actually. I stole this from my slideshow, but so I've done IDOLiSH7 panels like at anime conventions before, but like there's stuff like this where they have for example, there's like an IDOLiSH7 talk show that they kind of created early on in the show, just to like promote themselves, and what's funny is for like a real life event they actually made the set. It looks real though. When I saw I said I thought it was a game picture, but then I realized I was like, wait, this isn't a game. This is
wait, this one I can put this one on stream too?
Oh yes.
Okay. Here you go, folks. This one, yeah, I looked at this first. I was like, hey, wait, that looks like an actual panel thing right there. You've actually done real. That's so cool.
Right?
Check it out.
I was like, wow, it's like very similar. I was like, they like did that. They were like, okay, we got it. We're gonna make this like a thing,
Look at that real life set and the fictional set side by side. Wow, they did a fabulous job.
Right? I was like, whoa. So they put a lot of work into it, which I thought was cool. Oh, okay. We're just straight like full on ranting at this point about this, but
hell yeah, keep it going. We got time still. We got.
So what's cool is that this doesn't only focus on just like the pretty idol boys. They also like get to meet like I guess like veteran figures in their industry and stuff. Like so, like you know, like talk show guy who was like several many years under belt, like experience under his belt, or like who used to be like an idol guy or like a singer guy, um, and you kind of meet you gotta kind of meet those characters like that inspire them and stuff, which is really cool. It's like so it's not all about like all the pretty sparkly Ikemen boys. There's also like people who help make it happen. So they do a lot of like in the anime you see a lot of shots to like the fans or the staff people will show up and you always see them working around in the background and whatnot. We're talking to them. And even in game 2, like there's a lot of they put in a dialogue with like just like random fan member like 20 like you know chatting about this new thing that IDOLiSH7 put out, and yeah it was so it's kind of fun that they kind of intentionally put that in there just to be like, no, we don't live in a bubble, we don't live in a vacuum, like you said before. Like it's very much like there's like you know the fans who like keep things going and like hype up the you know the events to people, like to their friends,
Yeah.
or you know, or there's like this dude who like you know who like gives them good advice, or like companies that sponsor like you know sponsor like different idol events, right? Yeah, it's all very,
It grows and
I think
expands.
the sponsorship thing is very big in Japan because it's like when you go to Japan, everything is just like there's so much advertising. There's ads everywhere you look, like all over the train. Sometimes on the train, like literally on the physical outside of the train.
Wow.
Sometimes they're like they're all over screens and like you know different banners and trucks. I've kind of seen it all. Oh, there was a real life IDOLiSH7 truck that matched and that actually showed up in the anime, which I thought was, oh my god, it's there! Look, there's a truck.
Oh
and
wow!
I like lost my brain over it. I was like, I think I can actually. I don't actually know if I have this saved. I think it's on my other hard drive, but I will actually have to find it for you because it was super cool.
Awesome. We'll do that. We'll do that after stream. We don't have it on us right now, folks, but it sounds poggers.
Yeah. Yes, it's very cool. Like some series do that thing where they have a giant truck. Basically, you know, it could be whatever. And on the truck is this giant, like just the giant image of the series or whatever it is plastered on. So they do times for stage plays, and sometimes for like album releases, like a Japanese pop guy, and sometimes anime, and sometimes idol anime. So I was like, let's go! Like, look at them making it. They're on this truck IRL and in the anime.
If you made it IRL, you made it anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. Actually, when I went to Japan too, oh god, they like. I think this is pretty common for for a lot of anime though, is that they have cafes that are themed after them, so you can go and take pictures with the cardboard cutouts, and some places just have like a big wall that is just like there's this giant anime boy on it, and you're like, yes, this is I'm gonna touch this wall, and I'm never gonna wash my hands.
The never wash hands. I love it. Yes, I'm gonna touch. I touched it. I will never wash this hand. This hand must be engraved, enshrined. I'll get a prosthetic. Let me cut this hand off right now.
right. And they did actually have they do have real life concerts with the voice actors who actually like,
oh cool.
Basically they train them up to do like a performance, like an actual like idol performance, like, and of course it's not to the point where you know it doesn't fully like how do I say, like it doesn't fully encompass like what an idol concert like I guess to like the full extent of one, but it's a really really nice thing to do, I think, for fans, because they do get to run up and like dance a little bit on stage and sing on stage and like kind of you know
that's nice,
have all the flashy lights and the flashy costumes. So that's like another fun IRL thing that they do, and they kind of like
they put a lot of work into this, I gotta say. It's fabulous.
And I'm like honestly, it's really cool to me because I just remember it being so small at first, and then it was like boom, like I don't know what happened, but everyone's crazy about it. And like so when I got to go to Japan, I was like, oh, you know what? I think I got my timelines wrong. 2017 August was when the game came out, and 2018 January was when I got into it. That's what it is.
Okay, so we're winding back one more year.
Yes. I travel but yeah, basically I was just like.
Oh, one sec, Hoshi. One sec.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I gotta look. Okay, so. Alright, we got a notification from our upcoming opponent. So, Hoshi, you can talk about the mighty IDOLiSH7. Run us through things you definitely want us to know for about another 5 minutes or so, and then we can start setting up for the next round, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Definitely, yeah. That's actually good timing, because I was starting to slowly get to the wrap up after the live concert stuff.
Awesome, let's get to it.
Yeah, I actually went to their first live concert, which is really cool.
Oh, whoa, when you were in Japan.
Yeah, so I went to Japan and got to see it all, and got to experience some of the IRL IDOLiSH7 things firsthand, which is how deep this has gone, by the way. It was crazy. But it was so much fun, because it was it was like going to almost a live idol concert. It was crowd super hyped up. You're doing the little things with your light sticks, and it was. I think the funniest thing to me though was there's the age range for IDOLiSH7 fans. It was anything from I definitely saw some older aunties, some younger younger girls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's some dudes too. It was funny because there's one where one of the guys was like, okay, the girls, and you go, hey, and they go, the guys, and then you hear this woo, and you just hear the manly yells. It's so funny. I always love it when the male fans show up. It's just booming man voice cheering.
Full of energy. They're very Genki. Woo, woo, like that.
Right? Yeah, and so anyway, what I'd say is I highly recommend the series. Even if you're not the woman audience that they want to appeal to. I think that it's actually a very good well-rounded series in that sense, where it's a little bit more. I think because I definitely have some guy friends that have actually gotten into the series. I got my brother into the series as well.
Oh, nice.
So feel hard into it.
So definitely appeals to more than just their targeted demographic. It's got broad appeal.
Exactly, and plus the manager girl is really cute. So. You gotta see her a lot, so I would be anything, start with the anime. She's super cute. And yeah, I think that's kind of my blurb on IDOLiSH7. I think I've covered everything really. I've talked a lot about it, so I appreciate y'all listening to me talk about it for however much time. I don't know how long it's been.
Oh, I don't care. And people stuck around, so they were very interested. I think the pictures, and folks. Raph, let's acknowledge chat real quick. Raph says, if Hoshi recommends it, it must be good. And yes, a lot of work indeed. So, IDOLiSH7, give it up for IDOLiSH7 people for giving Hoshi something amazing to talk about that has lasted with her for many years. Not many years, but approaching half a decade since it started in 2018. So,
yeah.
So, thank you, IDOLiSH7. Thank you for all the IRL stuff, all the hard work you put in, and the fact that it can appeal to many people. And Hoshi recommends starting with the anime and may kind of work around with that.
Yes.
That's what you said, yes? I'm just making sure. Yes, I believe you said start with the anime. Yes, excellent. IDOLiSH7, everybody! And Hoshi's love of IDOLiSH7! That was awesome. That was one of my favorite presentations, Hoshi. All these pictures and all that, so this was great. Thank you for Celebration Appreciation here. And now, folks...